All right, should we do room tone?
Yeah, room tone.
Is that room tone?
Who's humming? Are you planning on doing that throughout the episode whenever you're not speaking?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell about my obsession in this kind of tone.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Hannah. Thank you for joining us today, Ben.
Hello, thank you for joining me today.
That's right.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're extremely welcome.
You are welcome.
I have to say that in these times that we're living in, the whole really, really ridiculously excited part of the intro feels a little bit off.
It's true. Can I tell you something? It's true for me today.
Oh, okay. What if it was like really, really passionately distracted grown-ups?
That also is true about my thing today.
Really, really grateful to have something else to think about
Yeah.
grown-ups.
Something like that seems more accurate. We'll workshop it.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
It's hard to feel something on that level of enthusiasm these days. I do agree.
That's what I'm on about.
Because it's always like tempered a little bit by, but oh yes, the world is burning around us. So, pipe it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So you can get excited, but it's in little pockets. But, we're doing our best.
Yeah. It's framed.
We're trying to bring some joy into our lives and yours.
And yours.
Do you guys want to know what I'm drinking?
What are you drinking? You're up first this week.
Me.
Pour it on me.
I got 3. I can't put my drink on you.
Put it on me.
I would have to get so much closer to you than 6 feet to do that.
What are you drinking? What is it?
I got 3 drinks. I've got water.
Nice.
Which I feel like, this is filtered tap water. I feel like it looks kind of brown. I have all week. But Ian thinks it's just this glass I keep using. So I keep drinking it.
I gotta go with Ian on this one.
My second drink is a strawberry spindrift.
Ooh, strawberry. That's a little taste of summer for you. She just licked her hand.
Summer.
Just for the listener. She licked.
Why are you blowing up
She licked
my
it.
spot right now?
Never been
I'm
accused
just trying to live.
blowing up your spot before.
I'm just trying not to waste it. And you keep blowing up my spot. Why can't I say it right?
You are saying it right. It's perfect. Don't change a thing. It's canon now.
And thirdly, I have Tank 7 American Saison Ale from Boulevard Brewing Company.
Ooh.
Which
Boulevard.
Aunt Brown actually had shipped to our house as a thank you for allowing a whole bunch of other alcohol to be shipped to our house at the same time.
Wow.
That she then came and picked up.
Nice. Why can't she have shipped it to her house?
So there's an app. It's called Drizzly, and it allows you to get alcohol deliveries to your house. But it's like, it depends on where your closest liquor store is. So we have like a Wines and More 2 miles from us, but there's nothing that's comparably close to them. So, excuse me. So she needed to use our address so she could refill her wine rack. And then we just wiped down our stuff, wiped down everything else in the box, left it back out on the porch. Actually, Ian put it in the trunk of her car, but we did a socially distant, drop off and pick up thing.
Nice.
And she got us a 4 or 6 pack of, this nice beer to thank us for that.
Cheers.
So. Mm-hmm.
We have Drizzly. I have access to it, but I've only looked at it for liquor, and there's only literally one type of liquor that they'll deliver to us. And it's one I haven't heard of. Yeah. I think it's maybe a stock thing. Well, I have only heard of it recently when I was like, how do I get liquor delivered to my house? And I Googled and found it.
How are they allowed to
do... one brand of liquor?
How are they allowed to do alcohol delivery? Are they all, that's weird, right?
I don't know. Yeah, there must be some loophole. I mean, I can get alcohol delivered. Like, I got a case of wine delivered to my house from Total Wine.
Yeah, I think that's another thing where Massachusetts is... I think it's another thing where Massachusetts is usually stricter, but I think that they loosened it for this. I'm not sure if you could have used Drizzly before the time of Corona.
Let's see what liquor I can get.
Y'all, I'm trying to type in my address, and I don't remember my street number. All right, I think I got
Isn't it 2521?
No.
Let's not dox Erin on our own podcast.
Yeah, definitely the street number is doxing.
I just forgot it again.
2,894 results. So I got a lot of liquor.
For liquor you got? Liquor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hold on.
I live in a shitty.
Yeah, you need it. You need it.
There's, I mean, what do you mean? What's the brand? It says everything.
No, Erin, what's the brand?
I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there, but this app is.
But I just can't remember my street number.
Well, that was a big part of it. That was the first big hurdle. All right.
Okay, let's all jump in this doxing boat together. My street number is 35.
Okay.
Mine is 1630.
Update. I was trying to type my address in the search for beer or wine or liquor search box. So that was a big piece of it. You know how sometimes you lose momentum? You have to like when you're telling your phone number or something, you have to it's like, tell me the middle of your phone number, or tell me the middle of your social security number. It's like you have to start from the beginning and have that momentum. Okay, in my experience. Okay, let's see. And I was experiencing that just now with my address, apparently. Okay, liquor.
What's the beginning if not the number? So, you have to be my address is.
Hold on.
That's the beginning?
I'm now... Okay, enter a delivery... Well, I get that big... Is that with your delivery address, Ben?
Yes.
Entered. Okay. Because I'm getting that, too. Here we go. Okay. I don't have to say it. Yeah, I got one result, and it's Contrado Aperitif.
That's the only liquor? What the fuck?
That's it.
That's so weird.
I know. It's not it's like a silver rum. I would be ecstatic.
How many beers do you have if you click beer?
$40. It looks like it's an Italian, but it only has the ABV of...
Yeah, it's not even it's local to you or anything. That's the one thing you can order?
This the one liquor I can order. Let's see.
That's so weird.
Beer, I got one result.
What?
It's an Aviv Spark Natural Pink Grapefruit.
I'm sorry, where is this coming from? Is this just one person who signed up for this app and is selling it out of their house and only has one of each kind of alcohol?
Yeah, that's what we got for wine.
Wait, when you go... Okay, wait, when you...
I got a lot of wine.
You can select stores. When you click your address on the top, it has select store. How many stores
So I think
there's
there? one. There's one store.
Why? How do they only deliver?
And it's a wine store.
Oh, so if you click wine, is there a ton?
Yeah, there's a ton.
Oh,
of wine.
okay, that's what it is. And they sell one kind of beer
and the liquor is the ABV. It has a wine ABV.
Gotcha.
ABV, so I bet that they can sell it because it's because of their liquor license or whatever. I don't know. I love how much time we spent on that. Part of it was me trying to remember my address. So I haven't had to go out.
Erin, what are you drinking?
All right.
And whenever I go out, I have to remember my address.
Yeah, how else do you get home? I'm drinking Contrado Italian Aperitif. I've just had it delivered. And one type of beer. I've got a Michelob Ultra. There it is. I like to drink this during / immediately after my workout. What's one thing about having a home gym that's in my garage? Yeah, is that the other day I was working out and I was like, ooh, I was hot and sweaty. I was like, ooh, I should drink a nice cold beer. And then I was like, oh, haha, that's funny. And then I was like, fuck it, why not? Literally, why not? And so it's a little something I've started to do during my workout.
Do you get like a buzz, like an extra buzz because you're metabolizing it faster?
Yeah. And it's a very light beer. I mean, this beer is like a seltzer. It's a 4.2. So, yeah, I typically have to drink this beer very fast to even get a buzz. But yeah, I'll get a little something, but nothing that'll make me loopy or anything like that. So that's kind of my new thing. Call it a drink out. Just came up with that. I have an ice water and a decaf coffee.
Nice.
Hydrating, libating, and lightly caffeinating.
Nice.
What are you drinking, Ben?
A drink out.
I have an empty glass of water because here's my story, and that's it. Because the pitcher that we filter our water through was out of water because someone didn't refill it. That wasn't me being passive aggressive. I don't know if it was me or Kylie. I do not remember. So
or Como.
It was
Hazel.
probably Como. Actually, Hazel drinks a ton of water. She drinks a ton of our water, so it's probably Hazel's fault. And actually, I'm just going to go get more water right now. So
Good.
Pause.
Yeah, go get it. Thanks. Get 2 cups. Thanks.
Get 2 cups, please.
Yeah, don't fill the other cup of water. I just want you to have at least 2 cups nearby. For my obsession. You're gonna need a cup for my obsession.
Oh. Wow, fascinating. I actually have 2 cups, so I'm ready.
Good. You're ready. You're all prepared. You got the memo.
Yeah, I did get the memo you faxed over about that.
Yeah, thanks.
I got a fax machine so I can work from home.
Can't let the faxes let up. Do we have any emails today? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, good question. I want to do a little update on what it's been like to work from home for everybody.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Because I'm shocked at how much I like it.
Yeah.
Like, totally shocked. I thought I didn't like working from home at all. And then it turns out the literal only thing holding me back was the second monitor. And like my desk being set up, having 2 monitors again, like granted, my computer is still sitting on top of a cardboard box to get it a little bit more height for me to be able to see. But like, I love it. I can wake up as early or as late as I want to and still be at work at the same time. I can just go kiss my cats whenever I want to. Squeak showed up at a meeting yesterday, and it was really funny because I had a virtual background on, and so like sometimes she was invisible and sometimes she wasn't. I just like it a lot.
I'm super into it as well. It's nice to be around Molly. We have lunch every day, play Skippo. It's nice to be around all the food I like. It's nice to like be done work and then just be home. I'm into it.
It's so nice. It's like, I don't know. I'm like dreading going back now. I mean, I'm glad for what it will represent. I want it to happen as soon as it can safely for reasons of people's health and safety. But I don't want to go back.
Maybe you're looking at a full-time remote job at some point in your career.
Maybe I would like that.
This has given us all really good experience because some full-time remote folks don't like to hire people who don't have experience working full-time remote, which is one of those like circular things where you need experience to have experience. But, you know, I feel like this is giving everybody good experience working remotely full-time, which is cool.
That's so true.
Yeah. How's it been for you?
And I do think that it's also giving like some companies some peace of mind in terms of like allowing their employees more flexibility later on.
Oh, I hope so.
I think that might happen with my company.
Cool.
We'll see.
How's it been for you, Ben?
It's fine. I don't love it because I don't get to build things. And
you work with a lot of equipment and stuff that you can't.
And a couple of the projects I'm working on are like getting to the point where all that's left is to like make the board and then build them, and I can't do that. And I like one of them I was like doing a bunch of testing with the hardware that I do have, and it just like got to the point where I was sort of reaching the limitations of what I could actually measure with like an at-home setup, and not something that I make myself on like a better board than a breadboard. Which is annoying.
Is the breadboard bigger than a bread box?
No. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start asking: is it bigger than a bread box or smaller than a breadboard? That's pretty.
See, hold on.
Thanks.
That's made of bread?
It's made of bread.
Wow.
This thing sucks, though. It's very noisy. Well, it's not itself noisy, but it does not...
Wait, for the listener, let me describe it. It doesn't look like it's made of bread at all. It looks like it's kind of the size of like a makeup palette or a candy bar, like a chocolate bar.
Or like a matzo.
But it's white, and then it has a bunch of wires sticking out of it, and like, what are those called?
It's called a solderless breadboard.
It's a white breadboard.
Okay.
What are what called?
All the things on there. The little duties.
These three little black things are called op amps.
Okay.
And then these little things that are over them are called resistors. These black things are also resistors. They're a different kind. This is a motor driver.
Motor driver.
These are capacitors up here.
It looks
capacitors.
like...
Capacitors.
Listener, it looks like mold is growing on the breadboard. Why is it called a breadboard? This is the breadboard corner.
That's a good question.
This is the breadboard AMA.
There's like an interesting story for it. Originally, the word referred to a literal breadboard, a polished piece of wood used for slicing bread. In the 1970s, the solderless breadboard became available, and nowadays the term... Oh, because what you used to do... Like, what these are for... They're called solderless breadboards because they're made for... They're building circuits without soldering anything to them. Like, you just stick the wires into the holes. And what you used to do before these existed is you would... like hammer nails into a board and then wrap wires around them. It's called wire wrapping. And you would build circuits that way, and you wouldn't you didn't have to solder that because you were wrapping wires around things, and that was how you kept it secure. And that you did on like a literal big piece of wood that looked like a breadboard.
I'm glad
like
you broke
cutting board.
I'm glad you broke down that technical term for us. You wrap wires around them, which is called wire wrapping. I was like, well, what's it called?
That's I don't know. That's just like a term I've heard people talk about. I don't know. Like, there's like, you can, I have no explanation for myself.
I've also heard like wire twisties in the field. Yeah. So it's kind of whatever.
That's whatever.
It's really regional.
But, I forgot what I was saying. So, and then also, what's not great, I mean, this isn't really a work from home thing, but working at a university, there's a lot of big question marks about what the future is going to hold, specifically what the fall semester is going to be like, if students are even going to come back in the fall, or if they'll just take the fall off, if it's going to be online. A lot of universities have enrollment deadlines for fall courses, like usually in like early May. And so that's sort of, I think a lot of them are either waiting to announce things until that enrollment deadline is passed, and so students have already enrolled for classes, or are just like gonna see how many people actually enroll, or maybe don't, anticipating that the semester will be online. But it's been a big source of uncertainty around everyone.
Yeah.
Which is not great. But we'll know more.
I'm surprised that so many schools are planning on canceling their entire semester. I would have thought the pivot to online would just be sort of more complete for that semester rather than canceling it completely.
What I hear from what faculty want is they want to at least try online first, but it's not really the universities deciding that will be best for them. It's that a lot of students have already made it clear that if it was an entire semester online, they wouldn't come for that semester. So they're kind of forcing the university's hands in that way. Because, and like, honestly, I get it. Like, you can learn a lot through online learning. It can be effective, but that's not what they're paying for. You know?
I wouldn't pay Harvard prices.
Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't want to pay as much for it.
Yeah, because I feel like also you can, like, get a lot of Harvard online courses for free, so, like, I'd feel a little, you know. I don't know.
Well,
yeah, that's
good
rough.
luck to you.
We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Check in. All right, I've got a joke to tell you, Flips.
Okay.
All right, so this is one of those jokes with, like, a lot of build-up for the punchline.
Okay.
But I'm going to take you through it anyway, and it's, this is all true, and it's in a story format, but it is a joke, so don't interrupt it. Okay. So, last weekend, I had a lovely long phone call with my friend Beck, our Bean advisor, this podcast Bean advisor. And we talked for quite some time about my new favorite movie, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It was delightful. I sat in the sunshine on the deck, but it was, like, very, very sunny. And I was wearing a black shirt. And I haven't worn a bra in, like, a month. And the sun was just, like, beating down on me. I had my sun hat on, but it was, like, really hot, like, on my sun shelf, on my boobs. And and I was wearing a black shirt, so I feel like it was, like, really intensified. So later, I go inside, and I'm, like, changing my shirt, and I notice that I have, like, red blotches all over my boobs. It was very, like, it was very distressing. It looks like almost like a rash, except it, like, wasn't raised or anything, and it didn't hurt, but it was, like, just, like, really red and blotchy, like, all over my boobs. And so it was poor tits of a lady on fire. I'm still workshopping it.
It's definitely got potential.
Yeah,
I really like how that was not. I didn't expect it to just suddenly happen there.
I've been so excited to tell you that I got really nervous and just, like, lost all my finesse. So I'm gonna keep working on it.
That's great. What an epic pun.
Thank you.
A pun with a story.
Yeah, I know, true story. And the blotchies eventually went away, and there were no other incidents.
So it wasn't like a full-on sunburn. It was just your boobs got really hot.
They got hot and blotchy. And there was no sunburn. Like, they didn't tan. They're still, like, pale
have you seen that episode of the IT Crowd where she wears, like, a faulty bra that, like, lights itself on fire?
Yes.
Oh, God, no.
And she's, like, in a meeting, she's like, oh, God, my tits are hot! My tits are so hot! My tits are on fire! And, like, a bunch of people in the room think she's a stripper.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
That's a good show. Well, we have no emails, so can I tell you guys a fun Ian story? Mm-hmm. It's not exactly the terminology Ian, but I think you guys will appreciate it. It's just, like, kind of like a story about, like, how he's extremely thoughtful in, like, the weirdest ways, but he takes very good care of me. So we got, like, this 20-pack or something of my favorite gum from Amazon a little while ago. We had been, like, in a state of having no gum in the house for several weeks before that because Amazon was, like, had delayed it because they're shipping more important things. And so when we finally got it, like, we've been, like, digging into it. Like, I'm like, I just, like, always, if like, I want a snack, I'll pop a piece of gum. Like, I just like to have one in my purse, like, all the time. Mm-hmm. So the other day I went into the medicine drawer and I was, like, digging for, like, an antacid or something, and I found 2 packs of unopened gum in there, and I was like, oh, look, I found this gum. Has this been here all along? Ha, silly us. And then Ian was like, oh, no, give me that. Now I gotta find a new place for it. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, this is my strategic gum reserve. This is for when, after we've gone through all of the gum that we just bought, and you're like, oh God, I wish I had more gum. Then I could just like go dig it out from wherever I hid it from you and be like, oh, look, we have more gum.
Wow. I relate to that feeling very much. I love that.
Yeah.
So he's hiding gum from you to create a sense of supply and demand, urgency.
He's hiding gum from me so that he can excitedly brandish it at a later date.
He can be the hero of the parts he created. Yeah. I see.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess maybe it's manipulation, not taking care. Who knows?
No,
but that's all I have
sweet.
for upfront stuff.
That's
you
all
guys
I
have
got.
More?
No, I got.
That's all
I got the one you heard.
It's a good one. Poor tits of a lady on fire. Hold on. You've held on to that for like 2 days, I think. I don't know what time it is exactly anymore.
Yeah, I have, and I feel like if I had just come out with it, it would have been a better delivery, but I've just been, like, harboring it inside, so.
Let me see if you guys can relate to this, because I said this in a meeting the other day, and it was like the casual end of a meeting chatter. I kind of started ranting about how I don't know what time is anymore a little bit, and the one thing I said was that, like, for me right now, the most reliable indicator of the passage of time is are the plants growing outside my house. Like, I can go outside and see that a plant is like twice as big as it was the last time I was out there, and be like, oh, it's probably been like at least 3 days since I saw this plant. Like, it's like a super slow motion sundial situation.
My reliable indicator of time is that every day at about 2 or 3 p.m., Hazel wakes up and decides she's going to be a menace and comes into the just marches into the office and jumps on both of our desks and bites all of our stuff and swats our screens and then leaves after like 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like every day between 2 and 3.
Yeah. You're like, oh, it's between 2 and 3 now.
Yeah.
No clocks
needed. It's the afternoon.
All right, should we pop in?
Let's pop in.
Erin, did you have a thing to say?
I agree with all these sentiments. Time, what does it matter? It's like we were trying to figure out when something happened again, and we were like barely piecing it together. It's so hard. It's so hard to know. Did I tell you I've been taking a little like Polaroid kind of picture? It's like this Fuji.
I saw them somewhere. You posted them. So I think that's very
Instagram.
Smart.
Yeah, and so those actually have been like literally helpful, because I'll try to take a picture and then write a different caption so that I can gather 2 pieces of information. Like the picture, I won't write a caption about the picture, but the picture will remind me of something that happened that day, and then I'll write a caption of something else. So I can kind of like put together a rough timeline of like, it's like memento of like what happened in my life. And I have them laid out in a week grid so that I can like look back and be like, oh yeah, that was just last Friday. My caption for last Friday was long, delightful podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
We had a fun time recording.
It was delightful.
Yeah.
All right, should we pop in?
Yeah, let's do it.
No.
Go for it, Han. Take us away.
Okay. Mine's
Take
really
me
short.
away. What's that song?
It's something I've actually talked about before, but not as an obsession.
You had an honorable mention.
What?
You said you had an honorable mention.
No, I didn't.
I thought you did to me before. We started recording, you were like, oh, I had a thing, but I'm going to do it as like a upfront or an honorable mention.
Do you know what it was?
No, I thought you said that to me just before recording. I think that was today.
I don't think it was. I don't remember that at all.
I thought you said that. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't have it anymore.
Okay.
If I had it, it's gone now.
It's gone now.
Okay, you guys might remember last Thanksgiving, I think it was last Thanksgiving, I had a project that I was working on the whole time. Maybe it was the year before that, which is the Diamond Dotz. The
Little Dipper.
Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots, right.
You're the Little Dipper.
I was being a Little Dipper, yeah. And I know I talked about it before, but only as an honorable mention. I checked the index, and there's 2 reasons that it's been top of mind lately. One of them is that, hold on, I can show you. My work from last year is right up there, or from Thanksgiving. So it's hanging on the wall. It's not like framed or anything. I would like to frame it someday, but it's just like stuck to the wall with some command strips. So I look at it a lot when I'm like turning around from working, and it's always, no matter what the light situation is. Oh, let me go back. For anybody who doesn't know what Diamond Dots are, which is totally legit, it's a crafting kit that you can buy, and there's a lot of different like designs that you can get. It comes with, it's sort of like paint by numbers, but with little tiny plastic like gem looking things in different colors. So it's like paint by numbers, but like a little bit more intense, because you have to like the ones, and with a little bit, you have to have like a little bit more gear to do it. Maybe not that, because I guess you need like a brush and everything, so whatever. But the kit comes with like a little pen that you use to like pick up the dots and then stick them to this. It's so like the base part of the sort of work that you're working on is like already sticky. It's like pre-sticky, and it has like a legend of what the different like colors are that you need to put onto it to create the picture. And then you just do it. And there are some that are really small and some that are really big. And the one that I was working on over Thanksgiving, which I'll share a picture of, on Twitter, was like the biggest that you can get pretty much that I know of. It's like an entire like big rectangle, like full painting size of a famous painting that I forget the name of. I'm gonna put these up in our Slack channel. So I think they're beautiful. I think they're very relaxing to do. So I've been appreciating this finished piece that has held together quite well over the last year or two. And I also have another one that I had kind of been working on and then stopped, which is another painting, a famous painting of like some boats. And hold on, I'm going to send all these pictures. There you go. So the first 2 that I'm sending you are of you probably will remember from Thanksgiving, or the one on my wall, and then the next 2 are the painting that I'm working on right now.
Oh,
and
so sparkly. The texture is also very pleasing. Not only the sparkles, but the actual texture of the piece. Oh,
yeah, it is. It's really fun to run your hands over, and to even just look at, because it feels very like orderly, because they're all kind of like in rows. And also I'll post on Twitter I took a picture of like what the legend looks like underneath it, so people can see like how that works if you're interested. But I just it's just very soothing to me. And also like I actually originally got the table out that I've been working on the boats on. I got it out to do a puzzle, because it's like a folding table, but then the reality of trying to do puzzles with cats around kind of caught back up with me. And a nice thing about, I mean, they can find ways to like make a mess with this activity, but it's harder for them, because once something is in place, it's stuck to the paper. And while you're working on it, you're supposed to cover it with plastic, like all the parts that you're not actively working on. So they can kind of like fuck around with the plastic, but they can't really ruin it easily. So that's nice too. It's like safer to walk away from, or to work on over time. So I'm really looking forward to finishing the boats, and I think I have another one stashed away somewhere to work on as well.
And if you don't, Ian does.
Yeah. Exactly.
He has a strategic supply. He's got like 4.
So I don't know. Michael's Michael's carries them, and they're definitely like still open in some capacity because they keep on like emailing me about it. So if that sounds like something that would be relaxing for you, it comes with all the tools you need to do it in the kit. So it's like not a big investment. Give it a try. Diamond Dotz.
Dip away, little dipper.
That's all.
That's so nice. I felt like so relaxed looking at that close-up that you posted. Honestly.
Right?
Yeah. It just filled me with relaxing feelings. Just like imagining sitting there and like, oh, because the K's and the T's are so close to each other, just like dipping the right dot.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
It's really nice. It's very satisfying to see it progress and the empty spaces get smaller and smaller. It just makes you feel like you've accomplished something when you've not left the house for a week. You know.
It's an important thing in this economy.
Yes, exactly.
In this economy?
In this economy?
You gotta dip your dots.
Dip away, little dipper.
Thanks. Love that.
Nice one.
Erin, what's your obsession?
What up? All right, I got 2 honorable mentions before we begin.
2 honorable.
Maybe it was you.
What? No, it was you. Maybe it was the work from home thing.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying I had an upfront thing.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm really pissed.
Yeah, I am a terrible podcast host, co-host.
Yeah, I'm upset, but I'm holding it in.
My 2 honorable mentions, we're watching Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu. I like Hulu. I gotta shout out Hulu. Yeah. It's good. It's nice. You know, I had that book read to me a while back, and I'm enjoying the show. Really enjoy. I want to specifically shout out, I'm not obsessed with the show, but I want to specifically shout out, I am a little obsessed with the music in the show. Are either of you watching this show? Mm-mm. I've said the word show like 15 times. The music, so it's set in the 90s, and then sometimes they'll go back to the 80s, and you kind of realize at some point that all of the music is 90s music, but some of it is like, are really good covers, like modern day covers of 90s music. So and then when you go back to the 80s, all the music is 80s music, and some originals, and then some really good covers. So it's really effective. I don't think they've played one modern song throughout the whole thing. It's really, really effective. It's very good. And so Molly and I have been listening to the playlist. Another honorable mention is, this is kind of my literal obsession, but I've already done it. But I've been getting back into my lesbian movie reviews and just finding a lot of joy in that. So that's been really great. The community has welcomed me back. It's been really nice. I've been having a lot of great interactions with folks, a lot of folks commenting and sending me messages and interacting in all sorts of ways.
Did you review Poor Tits of a Lady on Fire?
Yeah, I did. Poor Tits of a Lady. Yeah, that had a lot of great discussion on it. One, I posted about San Junipero, I don't know how to pronounce it, that Black Mirror episode that's so fucking good, yesterday, and one person was like, it seems good, but it's no good. It's written by a man, and it's bad. And I was like, that's weird. And I looked at her Instagram profile, and she's like totally a TERF. So I'm going to try to post some like trans affirming stuff this weekend so she'll stop following me. Anyway, so that's been a real joy for me. But
it's been so fun to see so many new ones every time I look. What'd
you say?
It's been fun to see new ones every time I look. So exciting.
Yeah, I've been posting every day, and I feel just like the wind is back beneath my wings about it. And I went through and was like reading some of my old posts and some of the old interactions, and just remembering like how much fun we all used to have. So anyway, but related is my obsession, which is there's this bookshop in Wisconsin, I want to say, called Honest Dog Books. I say I want to say because I'll talk about why I have a book from them, but they included a bookmark, and it doesn't list the state. It just says the city and the street. Like, you're supposed to fucking know where the fuck it is.
It's too close.
What is the city?
Bayfield.
That sounds like Wisconsin.
Yeah. So anywho, they're doing this thing where you send them $7 and you fill out this little questionnaire, and then they'll send you a book that they think that you'll like.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's cool. So I sent them, I was like, so it's like a family-run bookstore. And I was like, oh boy, this poor family is about to really get it, because I was like, I like fictional books about lesbians, please. And I mentioned in my little questionnaire that I have I have a collection of books, and I call it my lesbian lending library. And so my expectations were like pretty low, but they sent me this book called The Education of Harriet Hatfield by Mary Sarton. And it is, and they wrote a little handwritten note that said, a book, about a bookstore for your library, which I thought was really sweet. And it's about a gay woman whose partner dies when she's 60. They're in their 60s, and her partner dies, and she gets her partner of 30 years, and she gets, a lot of money left to her, and she decides to use it to start a women's bookstore in Massachusetts, actually. And it's just really nice. That's where you live. I assume it's Massachusetts. They don't mention, they just say city names again with this. But it's just like a really nice, sweet book. It's exactly up my alley. I feel like just delighted to have filled out this questionnaire and paid maybe $9.50 all told with taxes and shipping and handling, and to get like a nice book selected for me and shipped to me with a handwritten note. And it's just like a really sweet read about like this woman who's going out on an adventure and like being faced with like, you know, a new generation and new terms and new ideas, and just like embracing them with open arms. And it's really nice and sweet. And so I haven't finished it, but I will make a lot of progress this weekend. And shout out to Honest Dog Books, 40 South 2nd Street, Bayfield, somewhere in the United States.
So, I'm sorry, did you say your obsession is Honest Dog Books, or is it this book?
It's kind of like this book via their book program. I'm like,
what's the program? Does it have a special name?
Yeah, if you go to their website, my mouse isn't working. Hold on. Honest Dog Books.
Bluetooth strikes again.
Yep. honestdogbooks.square.site. You can, the first option is Surprise Me will choose the book to fit your mood. And so you have to include like this questionnaire in the notes. You have to like copy this questionnaire and then paste it in the notes and fill it out. And then they'll send you a flippin' book.
Wow.
Oh, they upped it to $9. Good. I thought that the price that they were charging was not enough.
So, it's the first option. Surprise Me will choose the book to fit your mood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cute. There's a dog on it.
That dog is so cute.
Yep.
Where's the questionnaire?
It's in the description, you ding-a-ling.
Oh.
You freaking ding-dong.
So, full disclosure, I, for some reason, thought they would, like, send me the questionnaire after, so I checked out and did not do the questionnaire, and then realized that I was supposed to, and then I, like, immediately sent them an email, and was like, oh my gosh, I forgot the questionnaire, I included it, and then I didn't hear anything back, and then I got an email that my book had shipped, and I was like, what if they didn't get my questionnaire and I get some random book? So I was, like, extra delighted that the book was, like, so perfect for me. And since she's running like a women's bookstore, she's like, they're talking about all of these titles and authors in this book, and they're real titles and authors, and some are like, you know, queer books. And I just feel like once I get my queer works map up, this book will be a great thing to like use, because that's all like what that website is all about, is like pulling out just like references buried in books. And pulling them out into like a database. So it's gonna it's awesome. The perfection of this book is just like I'm like obsessed with like it was just like such a great mystery book to receive. That's what I'm obsessed with.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I got some books coming.
Have a $9 book adventure. It's so fun.
Yeah. I got some books coming, but I did choose them myself.
That's boring. That's old.
How dare you?
Yeah.
That's
broke.
tired.
Yeah. Picking your own book. Woke. Getting surprise books from a dog.
What books you got coming?
I got some V.E. Schwab books coming.
Which ones?
The
Near
Ghost
Witch?
City of Ghosts, something like that.
The Ghost City of Ghosts.
Pretty sure Kylie's read all of her books at this point.
I'm really interested in, I was originally looking for The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but it's not out yet. It's not out till like October, I think.
Oh, really?
So.
I thought it came out sooner than that. I don't remember.
Everywhere I was looking, it was saying like pre-order ships in like September or October.
Gotcha. Maybe she just talks about it all the time, so I feel like it's out.
Yeah, there was someone tweeting at her about it, but I feel like they must have gotten an advance copy like for reviewing or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to read it.
It sounds really cool.
Those are like fantasy books, Erin.
Oh.
Did you see her tweet about it where she was like, just about to be clear, everyone in this book is queer.
I saw that. I saw that.
It was pretty great.
Wait, in which book?
In The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Cool. I want it. But I got these instead because I've only read her that one series, the Shades of Magic. Yeah. And I liked them a lot, so I thought I would go for this too. We'll see. Books, am I right?
Am I right?
Books.
It's supposed to like be rainy this weekend, so I'm just gonna like read.
So awesome.
That's what you do when it rains. You just read.
Awesome.
Yeah. So awesome.
So awesome.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Ben, what you got?
Listen.
Good obsession, Erin. I'm gonna check them out.
Thanks.
I am just unapologetically bringing literally the exact same obsession as last week. Because, listen, if I said that I was obsessed with anything else, it would be a goddamn lie.
You gotta be true.
I started Final Fantasy VII Remake last week. I beat it last night.
Oh, you did?
Dude.
I played it. I played it about 40 hours.
Wow.
If you do the math, that's about 40% of my waking time in those 6 days was spent playing that game.
Wow.
Because it is so fucking good. And I had really just started it when we talked about it last week. I maybe should have waited till this week, but I was really excited. And I'm so excited about it now because I finished it and it is so good. It's just so good. Is
it good?
It's so good. And I have two, I mentioned this I think already last week, but I have two friends who are also really excited about it because they played the original and really liked it too. Sorry, 3 friends. And we've just all been constantly all week talking about how much we love it and all the things we love about it. The combat is so fun. The story is as great as the original and with some extra elements. The only complaint that I've heard and that I guess you could say I have is that the ending was a little confusing and it was very different from how the original gets to that point in the story. And there's some implications for how the rest of the story is going to go. Because when there are future installments in terms of it maybe diverging from the original, but kind of in a cool way that I'm really interested to see what they do with. And I have full confidence in the people that made this first installment that they'll do a great job because it was just so fun. And I think I mentioned last week that there's a whole sequence in the original where Cloud cross dresses for a reason.
No.
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't, I guess, but
well, actually,
yeah, he does. But the thing that was like the only thing that I was a little worried about, because in the original it's not handled like super great, because it was like 1997 made in Japan, and it was like there were like a few characters who made some homophobic comments, if I remember correctly. I don't remember in detail about it, but like you can imagine how that could go poorly. The way they handled it in this game, he still cross-dresses, but it's handled in such a cool way, and there's like a whole really amazing sequence that leads up to it that is just like super cool and really great. And they like introduced a whole new character into the game that's like this really like cool queer he's like a proprietor of a, God, how do you fucking explain what the Honeybee, it's called the Honeybee Inn. It's like kind of it's like a dance, they do like dance shows, but it's like also, it's kind of like a burlesque club almost ish. But he's a very cool character and has like a whole speech about how beauty has nothing to do with gender while Cloud is cross-dressing, and it's very cool. And then there's like a scene where someone realizes that it's Cloud in the dress, and he goes, "Yeah, I know, nailed it. Let's go."
I've been watching someone on Twitch stream it since you refused to, and it's been very fun. It's fun to watch. Also, like
it's beautiful. It's so pretty. Beautiful game.
And I remember a lot of the story points. So the one I was watching purposefully was pretty early on. So it was like around the time when they were fighting that big giant robot, and then he falls down into the church on the flowers and meets Aerith, and fights those people and helps her escape and stuff, which is just really pretty. Just one of the most beautiful. Like,
oh my god, that whole sequence of them like walking across the rooftops while talking to each other was amazing. That was like one of my favorite parts of the game.
It's so pretty, and that's the slums. The battle to me looks difficult and confusing, but the person that I was watching play had like learned it pretty well by the time I was watching her, and she was like, it was kind of amazing to watch her, and also like to see the summons and how they like just come and fight with you for like alongside you for a while. That's so cool. In the original game, Erin, all the battles were turn-based, so you just like chose what your move was and stuff, and the summons were like, they did a lot of damage, but they were like these big like magical things that you could summon to like do a bunch of damage. They were
basically like extra powerful spells, essentially.
Yeah, basically. So they would like come in their own like cutscene in whatever way, and they were cool cutscenes. But then like once they'd done the damage, they were gone. It's not like they like hung around. And this one, you literally can like summon a big monster thing or whatever that will be there like doing like, you know, its own fighting with you for a while, like against who you're fighting against. It's so cool.
Yeah. The combat
and you can control everybody at once, kind of, right? You can like give people commands even if you're not actively controlling them.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And you can switch who you're controlling, and it's like really fluid, and and once you get good at it, it's extremely satisfying to like, because you can do this thing called staggering an enemy, where like if you use certain moves on them, this gauge will fill up, and then they'll become staggered and they'll take extra damage and like not be able to move for a few seconds. And you can like do really satisfying things where like you set up someone to be staggered, and like right before they get staggered, you switch to someone else who's like right next to them is going to do a bunch of damage. And you can like, once you get better at it and you can like time things well, it's super satisfying and extremely fun. I think I mentioned last week also the pacing of the game is so good, because it's like you have, and this is true throughout the entire game, I can say for sure now, you like have chapters, there are 18 chapters total, and some of them are like really long because the story, they're just like really long and story heavy. Some of them, or there's like a bunch of side quests you can do during that chapter. but it's like really nice pacing of having like multiple chapters of like intense fights and like sometimes multiple boss fights in one chapter, and like mini boss fights and just like a ton of combat and like a ton of action-packed storyline. And then you'll have like a chapter or two of like sort of either like more side quest based or just kind of more exploring the slums and like potentially like puzzle based kind of things, like a little bit less intense combat. So you get like sort of a breather from that, because the combat is difficult. Like there are a lot of fights, especially later on, are like genuinely really hard. And they really encourage you early on to like not just sort of spam to get through fights, like to sort of try and figure out timing of like when enemies are doing certain attacks, because you can like interrupt enemies during certain attacks, but you have to time things well. And there are like bosses, like there's a boss at the end of the game where like if you don't attack, there's like one particular thing he does that you can attack during it. If you don't attack during that, then you can't damage him. Like you have to have kind of mastered the timing and some of the elements of the combat to be able to actually do anything later on, which is really nice because once you sort of figure that out, and like, I don't know, it's just like very rewarding combat when you figure things out, like, oh, this is the strategy I need to use here. And then like it starts to work and you're like, fuck yeah, I figured that out. It's just great. It's so good.
Will you play it again? Like soon?
And stream it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the setup question.
I am thinking about replaying the original because number one, I'm in withdrawal because I've been addicted to that game for a week. Number two, that game ends when you leave Midgar, which is almost like the beginning of the story, basically. Like it's a fraction of the entire story of Final Fantasy VII. And also, like I mentioned, the ending there is a little different, especially some things that happen at the end. And so I kind of want to replay just to keep track of what is different now that that's fresh in my mind. Because I want to see like how much really changed. And that I would stream because it'd be a lot simpler for me to stream. I have like this little thing that came with my PS4. It's called a PlayStation TV, but it's just like a little black box thing.
Is it a capture card?
No, it essentially is like a PSP emulator. Like it has a bunch of PSP games on it, or not. Like you can download PSP games. You can also download some original PS1 games like Final Fantasy VII. You can also get it on the computer, but which I have. I already have it on Steam.
You have a computer?
Yeah, I actually have a computer. Isn't that weird? But the controls, I think, are kind of weird or something. I remember them not being great. And also the music is like the MIDI version of all the music instead of the actual soundtrack, which is weird and bad. So if I can play like the PS1 version ported,
you could also get it for the Switch.
Oh yeah, I can. I forgot about that.
I just realized something as you were talking about replaying it. You know how last week I was like, we tried to play it on the Switch and it was too difficult to get around. I think we didn't have the Pro controller yet. So I think maybe I should try it again because the drift on our controllers was so bad that it was probably like multiplying the problem exponentially.
That is a problem in the original though.
Yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah. And it's going to be weird to play the original after playing this one because it's so different. Graphics they're boxes.
Yeah, they're a bunch of boxes.
Hey Ben.
Yeah.
Is the like you spent like 40 hours to get to the point where you left and it was only the beginning of the first game? Was it still like how much time would it have taken to get to that point in the first game? In the
like
original?
5 hours.
I think I would say 5 to 10 hours, depending on.
So do you expect there to be like eventually as much as the original, like with the same time scale?
I do, but it's going to take a while to come out if that's the case. Because although they've said, so I read an interview with the developer because as you can imagine, I was getting towards the end. I was like, I need to know when the second installment's going to come out because I need to play more of this. And they said, like, it's definitely not going to take as long as this one took because they had to, like, build the game from scratch for this one. And for the rest of it, they, like, have the engine and the characters and, like, a lot of mechanics already, designed and made. Yeah. So it's, like, not as big of an ordeal. But it's still going to be at least a couple years. Although apparently, like, it's already in development since, like, mid last year. So it's being made.
Yeah.
I hope it's not too long because I really want it.
It's like when the Harry Potter books were coming out and you would get it like the day it came out or soon after, and then like read it all in like 1 weekend.
A day.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
then you would have to wait for another year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to hurt, but I'm excited that there's going to be more because it was so fun.
Our friend Matt got it too, and he's been texting us about how good it is also. Yeah,
it's probably, I think it's easily in my top 5 favorite games. It's probably beaten out the original as my favorite game currently.
Wow.
Because it is so good. It's so good.
It didn't feel like they were stretching it to get a whole game out of the first section or anything.
No. God, no. I like it. It feels like, you know what because they didn't just like add random shit on. And what you spend a lot of extra time on is like fleshing out side characters that didn't really get their sort of time in the sun in the original in a really cool way. And also the side quests are all really fun. It's great. I felt like it was worth the 40 hours, whatever. I was really worried about that. I think I mentioned, like, I was really worried when I heard that it was going to be just Midgar, that it was like, that wouldn't feel like enough. But it definitely did, and they really managed to make it still have a satisfying ending.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's great.
Maybe by the time it comes out on other consoles, the second part will already be out or something, and then I'll get to play them both and binge them in 80 hours.
Boom.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I hope
I can keep all my stuff in the second one.
I was just wondering that.
I probably can.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to handle that.
We'll see.
Well, that's cool then. I'm fine with you bringing an update. It's good to hear that it was worth all the fuss.
Could you
fuss?
You really fussed about it last time.
You were a fussy baby Ben last week.
You wouldn't stop fussing.
Oh, we should have talked about our little what is she? First cousin once removed.
Oh my gosh.
We talked about her before we recorded, but I don't know.
Shout out to Juliana if you're listening. Baby, happy birthday.
Baby, happy birthday. That's what she said to herself.
On her birthday.
She had a Minnie Mouse cake, and she told herself happy birthday while she ate it.
There's this really cute video. She takes a bite of her cake, and then, like, the taste of the birthday cake made her remember to, like, stop mid-chew and wish herself a happy birthday. Hold on, I gotta switch headphones because my batteries are dying, which is stupid. I hate Bluetooth. You have me on record.
Yeah, you're on record as hating Bluetooth.
I just tried to insert my headphone on top of the one that was already in. Literally tried to do that.
Nice. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm a winner.
Well, I think we're ready for it to do homework.
Yeah, me too.
For to do.
Okay. Let me check out Michael's, what they're doing. Hold on. Michelle's.
Let's check out Michael's.
Let me check out Michael's, what they're doing. Michael's, what are they doing?
Dear Michael's, Just popping in to ask what you're doing.
Okay, yeah. So they're selling them online. Okay, so my homework is, if you thought that Diamond Dotz sounded interesting, my homework is actually first go look on our Twitter. I will try to get these posted promptly. I posted up some pictures so you can see what the finished products and the work in progress look like for the Diamond Dotz things. And if that looks interesting to you, I would direct you to check out Michael's, who seem to be clearancing a lot of them on their website right now, which is interesting to me. So I might buy some more too. And also I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch at Anthropology. And I have another podcast called So Dreamy. We talk about dreams. You should listen to it.
When is your next episode coming out, though? I feel like you said it was soon, and I've been looking.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check with Rachel. It's in the can, but I think it just needs to be edited. I know her work's been kind of crazy.
The can.
It's in the can.
Take it out of the can.
It's it needs to be edited.
Alex might have some dreams to send you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he told me he's been dream journaling lately, and I told him to send you his dreams.
And did he say he might?
Yeah.
He told him to send you your dreams.
Oh, hey, update. The Diamond Dotz seem like they're not shipping for some reason from Michael's. So, you might have to look elsewhere. I don't know.
Tragic turn of events.
I don't know what they're doing.
You got us so excited for discount Dippin' Dots.
I know. They got some stuff about...
Real talk, though, how good are Dippin' Dots?
Oh my god, it's so good. I mean, that's one thing I'm missing in this pandemic.
Haven't had my Dippin' Dots fix in months.
I get like once a year when I go to a fucking water park and they're randomly there.
I know.
They are good. It is true that they're good. Some people say they're not good, and those people are wrong.
They're wrong.
Those people can shut the fuck up.
They can shut it. Oh, there's a Paisley one. Ooh, Eiffel Tower. Ooh, they've got a lot of nice ones.
Yeah, they're pretty, but I don't know where you can get them right now. Now that I've recommended them, I don't know if any of these are shipping.
Not
so are we just going to look at that instead of the rest of the homework, or?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to work it out later. Erin, what's your homework?
Hold on, I'm in the middle of something. Anywho, my homework is to go to michaels.com/diamond-dots with a Z. My homework is to head over to... Hold on.
Can you just look up your address again?
honestdogbooks.com. Is that even their fucking website?
It is, but the one you're looking for is honestdogbooks.square.site.
Yeah. Go there and get a mystery book. It's so fun. Fill out their little questionnaire. Don't forget to include it in the notes. Read all the directions, and then it's great. And then you'll get a dice book.
A dice book?
A dice book.
If you ask for a dice book.
If you ask for a dice book, you'll get a dice book. My homework is to go to Honest Dog Books. I review lesbian movies. Again, a lesbian movie reviews on Instagram.
Yeah, they're great.
Review reviews.
In book reviews, I'm about to post a book review, in fact.
Nice.
As fate would have it.
Very good.
That's all for me.
Nice. Ben.
My homework is, for God's sakes, play the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's so fucking good. Kylie's playing it as we speak right now. I'm really excited for her to play it. I played the whole games with headphones on. The whole games. I played the whole game with headphones on because Kylie didn't want any spoilers, so that she could play it. And I'm really glad that she's playing it because she's going to love it, and it's great.
She's going to love it.
And also, I'll probably be streaming the original Final Fantasy VII soon. Maybe this weekend.
Yay!
Well, that's after this is recorded, though. Or after this before this fucking... Whatever. Twitch.tv Disco Greg. Just follow it.
Follow it.
Twitter's nicely proved Ben. I rarely tweet, but it's cool when I do. I say funny stuff. I'm so funny.
So funny.
Or sometimes I just tweet political things. I'm,
He's a man of many tweet shades.
Yeah, maybe. That's right. I tweet out when I stream also, so that's another way to know if I'm streaming.
All right, so call us if you want to. You can call us and tell us your own obsession. Leave us a voicemail at 774-326-0420. What's your welcome? Blaze it. What's your welcome distraction during this time? Let us know. Don't dial Blaze it. We're on Twitter at TwoBroadPod. We're on Instagram at WayTooBroad. You can email us, waytoobroad@gmail.com. You can find all that information, everything we just said, at waytoobroad.com, our website. You can also find our topic index there so you can see what we've talked about before, chronologically or alphabetically. Thanks, Erin, for every bit of that website. For anything you want. Earnben.com for anything you need. Thanks, Erin, also for that website, which you also made. And if you had a fun time, leave us a review someplace. I don't know. Who cares?
In this economy.
In this economy. Listen, we hope that you're all staying safe out there. And we love you. And stay home. Wash your hands. Keep in touch.
Eat ass, pass gas.
Also that. And the podcast candle. Oh no.
It's now disappeared.
Oh no. Okay, podcast candle is now extinguished.
It really made it sound like the room was catching on fire.
Sometimes I just don't have the lid in here. I keep on removing it from the room for some reason. So the only thing I can use to put the candle out is...
Why do you do that?
I don't know.
Why would you ever not have the lid of the candle next to the candle?
So don't you ever sometimes carry something random out of a room when you meant to grab something else?
You said you keep doing this.
Yeah. I don't know why it happened the first time. But the second time...
I just liked it.
I just want to keep looking at it.